Heidi Rathjen has suddenly become a ballistics expert and is giving technical briefings on firearms, which is really just totally interesting.
Oh yeah, well she's an expert and she really proved it. So we have we have a little clip, which of course she's accuses she talks about the reasons why the amendments were withdrawn. None of them were banning a bunch of hunting guns and paving the way to ban virtually any firearm in Canada. That's not the reason at all. It's because of the CCFR's misinformation and a variety of other things. Anyway, check out the clip.
Actually, because of disinformation that frightened hunters. That's everything that we've been hearing, that the bill went too far. But it's really based on things that certain MPs and groups were saying. But we can see this when we ourselves were able to analyze and have the RCMP validate the fact that all of the statements regarding the hunting weapons that would have been forbidden by the amendments, all of that is actually false. Because hunters were seeing a list of models of weapons and they saw their weapon included in the list, so they thought that all versions of that model would be prohibited. And that's not true. Only the models with certain calibers we're talking about the 10,000 joules, so we're talking about military caliber that could be classified as military vehicles. So for comparison, an AK-47 has its initial energy 2,000. And the amendments wanted a limit, not just the amendments, but it's a criteria that exists now, wanted a limitation of 10,000. So we're not talking about hunting weapons here. But unfortunately, because it's 309 pages and, people didn't quite understand that only the military caliber versions were targeted.
All right, well, there you go. Ballistic expert and an expert in military cartridges versus hunting cartridges, Heidi Rathjen.
Well, I don't even know why she's bringing up the AK-47. She says it's about 2,000 joules. 7.62 by 3.9 is about 2,100 joules. But she says that 10,000 and above is a military caliber. So I don't know. Is she implying an AK-47 is appropriate for hunting? Because we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, AK-47 was prohibited in Canada since the early 90s. I don't know why she's bringing up the AK. And I don't think she's, you can see during that whole section there that she's just wandering around completely unprepared and trying to just use military, powerful, whatever. And another theme that was going through all of their testimony is you don't need these powerful military cartridges for hunting. And it's the AK-47, 7.62 by 39 is around 2,100 joules, somewhere around there, depending on the barrel length and there's other stuff, right? But the 308, which is the most popular hunting round in Canadian history, maybe world history, I don't know. But because I'm not a hunter, but I think 308 is somewhere around 3,600 joules. Hunting cartridges are far more powerful typically than so-called assault-style weapon cartridges like 223 or 7.62 by 39.
Well, see, if you were an actual expert, you would know that, but she doesn't. So she's running around all over the place, just making a fool of herself. Well, it was pretty embarrassing.
And the reason it failed was because of the CCFR and our completely false memes. So anyway, the amendments were withdrawn because of our lies, not the NDP, mind you, who took credit for the whole thing. She didn't mention the NDP, did she?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is the NDP has been patting themselves on the back and taking full credit, but she doesn't put any blame on their shoulders, of course. No, they didn't do anything. So I guess she has a bone to pick with Peter Julian, right? Maybe it wasn't us, it was all the NDP anyway. And then at the end, she's like, oh, and it also was withdrawn because it was too many pages. 308, that's too many pages.
It was defeated.
I'm going to get one of those red clown noses.
Yeah.
Pop. There it goes.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.